I don't regret voting yes on Bill 7, Sunday Chanda speaks out. Yesterday, the Zambian parliament witnessed one of its most contentious votes. Bill 7 passed, but not without controversy. Amid widespread debate, Honorable Sunday Chanda has publicly stated he does not regret voting yes, defending his decision despite criticism from opposition and citizens alike. Why did he take this stance? What reasoning did he give? And what does this mean for the ongoing public discourse around Bill 7? Stay tuned as we break down the facts and reactions behind Chanda's bold statement. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. It's been quite a week across the African political landscape, with developments that have kept many of us watching closely, analyzing every statement, every political maneuver. But today, we bring you a story that has sent shockwaves through Zambian politics. A story of defiance, of conscience, and of a decision that has left an entire nation divided. Picture this: the chamber is tense. The air thick with anticipation. Members of parliament sit on the edge of their seats as one of the most controversial pieces of legislation in recent Zambian history comes to a vote. Bill 7. The Constitutional Amendment Bill. A bill that critics say threatens the very fabric of democratic principles. A bill that opposition members have vowed to resist with every fiber of their being. But then, something unthinkable happens. An opposition member of parliament, someone elected to stand against the ruling party's agenda, raises their hand and votes yes. Not abstain. Not absent. But yes. Who could do such a thing? What forces were at play behind closed doors? Was this a betrayal orchestrated through back-channel negotiations and promises of political favor? Or was this something else entirely, a matter of conscience that transcends party loyalty? The name that emerged from the controversy? Sunday Chanda. Former Patriotic Front Member of Parliament. A man now standing at the center of one of the most explosive political debates in Zambia. Did he sell out his party for personal gain? Was he pressured, threatened, or bought? Or does his defiant statement, "I don't regret voting yes on Bill 7," reveal a deeper truth that his critics refuse to acknowledge? What happens when a politician breaks ranks? What are the consequences when principle collides with party discipline? And in the court of public opinion, can Sunday Chanda ever redeem himself, or has he sealed his political fate forever? Factual foundation, background and timeline. The revelation came to light on a day that would forever mark a turning point in Zambian parliamentary history. It was during the contentious debate over Constitutional Amendment Bill No. 7, commonly known as Bill 7, that took place in the Zambian National Assembly. The bill, introduced by the ruling United Party for National Development government under President Hakainde Hichilema, sought to amend key provisions of the Zambian constitution. Provisions that opposition parties argued would concentrate too much power in the executive branch and undermine the independence of critical institutions. The Patriotic Front, Zambia's main opposition party and the former ruling party under President Edgar Lungu, had taken a firm stance against the bill. Party leadership issued clear directives: all PF members of parliament were to vote no or abstain. The party whip was unambiguous. This was not a matter of individual conscience. This was about party unity and opposition solidarity. But when the votes were tallied, something unprecedented had occurred. Sunday Chanda, the Member of Parliament for Kanchabia constituency and a prominent voice within the Patriotic Front, had voted yes. Not quietly. Not apologetically. But openly and on record. The initial reaction was one of shock and disbelief. Social media erupted. Political analysts scrambled to make sense of what had just transpired. Within hours, Sunday Chanda became the most talked about politician in Zambia, for all the wrong reasons, according to his detractors. The Patriotic Front leadership wasted no time. Within days, Chanda was summoned before the party's disciplinary committee. Questions were raised about his loyalty, his judgment, and his future within the party. Accusations of bribery and corruption began to swirl. Opposition to his actions came not just from party officials, but from constituents, civil society organizations, and fellow parliamentarians who felt betrayed. Yet, through it all, Sunday Chanda remained steadfast. Rather than issue an apology or claim he had made a mistake, he doubled down on his decision. In interviews, press statements, and social media posts, he defended his vote with a fervor that only intensified the controversy surrounding him. Direct evidence. In a lengthy and emotional interview that has since been circulated widely across Zambian media platforms, Sunday Chanda spoke directly about his decision to vote yes on Bill 7. His words were measured but firm, his tone defiant yet reflective. "I knew what I was doing when I cast that vote," Chanda began. "I knew the consequences. I knew my party would be upset. I knew people would call me a traitor, a sellout, all these names. But you know what? I don't regret it. Not one bit." When pressed by the interviewer about whether he had been influenced by external pressures or financial inducements, Chanda was unequivocal. "Let me be very clear about this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gave me money to vote for Bill 7. No minister called me into their office with a briefcase full of cash. No State House operative promised me a ministerial position. That narrative is insulting, not just to me, but to anyone who believes that politicians can still act on principle." The interviewer pushed further, "But Honorable Chanda, your own party leadership had issued clear instructions. The PF position was to vote no. How do you justify going against your own party?" Chanda paused, then responded with visible emotion in his voice. "You see, this is the problem with our politics today. Everything is about party, party, party. But what about conscience? What about representing the people who elected you? I read that bill, every single provision. I consulted with legal experts. I spoke to my constituents. And you know what I found? That bill had provisions that would benefit the people of Zambia. Provisions that would strengthen local governance, that would bring resources closer to the people." He continued, his voice rising slightly, "So I had a choice. Do I follow the party line blindly, or do I vote in the interest of my constituents? I chose my people. And if that makes me a traitor in the eyes of some party officials, then so be it. I'd rather be a traitor to a party than a traitor to the people who sent me to Parliament." When asked about the specific provisions of Bill 7 that he found beneficial, Chanda elaborated. "Look at Clause 17, for example. It deals with the devolution of resources to provincial and district levels. Under the current system, everything goes through central government. But this amendment would ensure that a fixed percentage goes directly to local authorities. That's huge for constituencies like mine. That's development coming straight to the people without bureaucratic bottlenecks." The interviewer interjected, "But critics say that Bill 7 also includes provisions that weaken the independence of the judiciary and give the president too much power over appointments. What do you say to that?" "I don't deny that some provisions were problematic," Chanda admitted. "But here's the thing, no bill is perfect. Politics is about compromise. It's about weighing the good against the bad and making a judgment call. Yes, there were concerns about certain clauses, but on balance, I believe the benefits outweighed the risks. And I stand by that assessment." In a subsequent radio interview, Chanda addressed the accusations of betrayal more directly. "They say I betrayed the party. But let me ask you this, what is betrayal? Is betrayal standing up for what you believe is right? Is betrayal voting in the interest of your constituents? Or is betrayal blindly following orders that you believe are wrong? I think people need to reflect on what true betrayal looks like." He paused, then added with a slight laugh, "You know, it's funny. When I was in the ruling party and we were pushing through legislation, the opposition would accuse us of railroading things through Parliament. Now I'm in opposition, and I'm being accused of selling out because I actually read a bill and found merit in parts of it. So which is it? Do we want MPs who think for themselves or MPs who are just robots pressing buttons based on party instructions? Deeper analysis, implications and reactions. The Sunday Chanda controversy has ignited a broader debate about the nature of representation, party discipline, and parliamentary independence in Zambian politics. Political analysts have been sharply divided in their assessments. Dr. Mwamba Chalwi, a political science lecturer at the University of Zambia, offered this perspective. What we're witnessing with Sunday Chanda is a fundamental tension in representative democracy. On one hand, we have the Westminster model of party discipline where MPs are expected to vote along party lines. On the other hand, we have the principle of individual representation where MPs are supposed to act in the best interests of their constituents. Chanda's case brings this tension into sharp relief. However, opposition figures within the Patriotic Front have been less forgiving. PF Secretary General Raphael Nakasinda issued a stern statement condemning Chanda's actions. Sunday Chanda's decision to vote for Bill 7 was a clear violation of party discipline and a betrayal of the trust placed in him by the Patriotic Front. We cannot and will not tolerate such acts of indiscipline. The party's disciplinary committee will take appropriate action. Civil society organizations have also weighed in. The Zambia Council for Social Development issued a statement calling for a more nuanced discussion. While we understand the importance of party cohesion, we must also recognize that MPs are elected to represent their constituents first and foremost. If Honorable Chanda genuinely believed that Bill 7 would benefit his constituents, then his vote, while controversial, cannot be dismissed as mere betrayal. We need a political culture that allows for conscience votes on critical legislation. Legal experts have pointed out that Zambian parliamentary rules do not actually prohibit MPs from voting against their party's position, a fact that has been largely overlooked in the public discourse. Constitutional lawyer Milolo Kabesha explained, "There is no legal basis for punishing an MP who votes according to their conscience. The Constitution protects parliamentary privilege, which includes the right to vote freely on legislation. Party discipline is a political matter, not a legal one." So while the PF can take internal party action against Chanda, they cannot have him removed from parliament on this basis alone. The controversy has also exposed deeper fractures within the Patriotic Front itself. Some members, speaking on condition of anonymity, have expressed quiet support for Chanda's position, suggesting that there is a faction within the party that believes the PF's blanket opposition to government legislation is politically unsustainable. "We can't just oppose everything the UPND does," one PF backbencher told local media. "Sometimes they have good ideas. Sometimes their bills actually benefit our constituents. But we're too afraid to say it publicly because we'll be labeled as sellouts." Sunday had the courage to break ranks, and honestly, I respect that. Meanwhile, constituencies across Zambia are watching closely. In Kanchabia, Chanda's home constituency, reactions have been mixed. Some residents have praised their MP for putting local interests above party politics. Others feel betrayed and are calling for his recall. But perhaps the most significant implication of the Sunday Chanda saga is what it reveals about the state of Zambian democracy. Are we moving toward a more mature political system where MPs can exercise independent judgment? Or are we entrenching a system of rigid party control that stifles debate and dissent? These are questions that go far beyond one man's vote on one bill. They strike at the heart of what kind of democracy Zambia aspires to be. And there you have it, viewers. The story of Sunday Chanda and his controversial yes vote on Bill 7, a story that continues to unfold and spark passionate debate across Zambia. Was Sunday Chanda a principled representative standing up for his constituents? Or was he a party rebel who broke ranks at a critical moment? The answer, perhaps, depends on where you stand and what you believe democracy should look like. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of InspirAfrica Official. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Sunday Chanda's decision? Do you believe MPs should have the freedom to vote their conscience, even against party directives? Or is party discipline essential for effective governance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a respectful and informed discussion about this critical issue. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that shape our continent, more voices that need to be heard, and more debates that challenge us to think deeper about the kind of future we want to build together. Until then, this is Nakash, reminding you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay inspired. See you next time.